Hi guys, my name is Bogdan. I am the owner of DNN Sharp. Today I want to talk to you about search in DNN. As you probably already know, most of the time you have these three options. You can either use the built-in search engine, which got better in recent version but still doesn't have a lot of configuration options and you don't have much flexibility on how to do the results. Or two, you can use an external search engine like Google custom search and integrate it into your site. This has the advantage that it's very fast, but you don't really have control on how the content get indexed or search. And then the third option is using a custom module that you can get from the store. And here we come here with our Search Boost module, which is basically the most popular search engine in DNN, and most of you already used it for very advanced scenarios and tweak the search options and the search results. But today's presentation is about building a custom search with Search Boost. What does this mean? Well, I will start with an example. So I have this user search here under admin that you probably already know, and I can see users, but it's not very friendly. I mean, as an administrator, I could get by with that, but I cannot sell this to my customer. I cannot say to them, you can manage your members from this module. It's not friendly. You have to select which field you search, and you don't have control which information you see here. So it's not very friendly to use. And for this purpose, today we will build a member search with Search Boost. And we will do this with a custom rule that gets all the data from the database, and we will search this data but also use it to create a results template. So enough talking, let's just get into the business. I already created 4 users to test with. They are called John. And then I have created a query here that basically returns all the data that I want to use for this example, for this member search. So let me quickly explain this query. You are free to write whatever query you want. What I did here is I used a pivot table to select the rows from the user profile tables. And then I also merged with some information from the user table. So in the end, I have this query. And finally, what I did, I also wanted the profile image so I can display it nicely in the search results. So it's not some flat text. I also see images, and I can actually recognize people by photos, not just by reading text. And here I had to do a few more joins on the files and folder tables in order to get the URL, which is a hard-coded part that I know is the home folder of the root portal. And then I have the folder path and then the file name. So I had to compute this path manually. And here below is what I get. So as you see, I have quite a few users in here. I will only work with some Jones now, and they have some images, some have cell phones, some don't have cell phones, and I see some have countries and some don't. Let's add a Search Boost input module and Search Boost results module. Next thing, we will go to the search input module. We go to search settings and configure this member search as a custom rule. If you're not already familiar with custom rules, they basically allow you to index content directly from a database based on a SQL query. So let's create a new custom rule and call it member search. Now, you have two options. You can either click next and use this query builder where you select a primary table and then you can join other tables and basically you build the query manually, or you can use the advanced mode where you write your own query. And I'll use this advanced mode because I created this complex query where I have this pivot table, and I also have this joins. So I'm going to take it from here and put it into this query field. I can test it to confirm that it works. Click next, and now I have to configure which field is which is the title, which is the description, and also extract the custom data that I will need later to build the results template, and we'll get to that in a moment. Until then, let's choose which column to index, and maybe I want to index the display name, and then I want to index the biography, maybe also email, maybe also country, and I think that's all. Maybe also the cell number. Maybe I want to search by phone number. And then I would have to link the results to somewhere. And here I will use the standard profile page, which basically is this activity page, or I can use, even better, I can use the profile page, which is activities feed / my profile, and again a user ID in the URL. So what I need to do is tell the custom rule that this is the URL where the result will point. And I can do this using this option to I'll specify a URL and use this URL, and for the user ID use a token which will get replaced with the actual user ID. Next, I will choose an ID column which uniquely identifies one result, in this case user ID, and I will choose a title column, and for this I will use display name. Click next, and now I get to specify some optional parameters like description, and I will use the biography. I don't need any categories for now. I don't need an author ID. I don't need publication date. I don't need is deleted date. Although I could use this, all these options have a meaning, have a sense here. And for example, I could use the is deleted column and the publication date column to sync the index on deletion. So if a user is deleted, is logically deleted from the database, then on next index, SearchBoost will know to delete it from the search index as well. So you can use all this option to optimize how the content get indexed, but we will not go into these details now. It's not the purpose of this video. And then we can use additional parameters to pass to the results page, and then we can use the custom data, and this custom data is actually what we will make available for our results template. And here I will say that I want to pass the avatar URL, the cell, the country into the results template, and I can give them some name. I can give them a different name, or I can just use this same name and cell and avatar URL. Click save, and I am done. Now this rule will not get indexed immediately. This will be indexed under a schedule, and you can either have a schedule configured under the DNN scheduler, or you can have a more advanced, more granular schedule built with our Sharp scheduler module. So I'll just do index content to make sure the content is up to date. In the meanwhile, this may take a while. This is a test site. I have a lot of files and pages here, but while the index is running, I will go to create the search template. And if you go to the UI settings under the search results section, you will see the actually it's way down here. It's not, it has not been moved to appropriate section yet. So right now it's down here, but will likely be moved into the search results section. And here I can choose one of the templates for the search results. I don't have any template yet, so we'll create it now. So the first thing I will do, I will go in the SearchBoost folder. So it's under desktop modules, SearchBoost, and then go into the templates folder. and navigate to the output folder, which is the output means the search results template. And here you see I already have some templates, some are tests, some are never are not used anymore. But what I will do, I will just copy paste the default template. And you always should start from the default template because that's the one we maintain. It will have all the new features, and it's risky to start from anything else. And also, if you create your own template, you should be aware that on updates, maybe new features will not work if part of their implementation is in the skin, is in the template. So you will have sometimes to make diffs to see what changed maybe and adjust the template on upgrades. And I will call this members. And now what happens if I go back to the search boost and I refresh the page? Now under UI settings, I should see also the members template. So it was that simple to create a new template. Just save it. And now we'll go back and test it. So back to portal, and now I will search for John because I created some users named John that already have all the countries and cell numbers. And I see actually I have a lot of more Johns that I expected, but that's okay. And actually 2 more changes are needed. First of all, I didn't select the correct results page, so I had more results page on my sites because I did a few other tests with Search Boost. So I selected the member search under search results, and the other change I was using under the URL option. I'll specify an URL. I was using the user ID token, but you have to be careful here that these tokens must also be custom data. So this means that I would have to extract it here as user ID. So be aware of this thing. Okay, saving this, and now let's go back to the portal. I already reindexed the rule to make sure that this change will reflect on the site. And I will search again for John. And this time I'm sitting again on the member search. I haven't left this page. And now you see the URL look correct. They have the ID in the URL, the user ID. So now you see I already have a basic search. I can click the result and I will be taken to the John the First profile, you see. And here this is the standard profile page. I haven't done anything here. But next thing, I want to build a nicer template for this. I don't like this Google style results. I want to maybe add a profile image to the left. And then maybe I would like to also display the country and the cell for each member. So let's see how we do that. And it's actually quite simple. Once I cloned this template, the member template, this is an XSL template. And what this means is Search Boost builds an XML with all the data related to the results. And we can access this data from this XSL template. So we transform the XML into the results page. And the easiest way to see how this XML looks like, you go to the general settings and say activate this Debug Show XML option. Once you do this, go back, search again. And this time, notice at the bottom of the result there is a link, Debug Show XML. You enable this and you will see an XML with some metadata about the search, and then also a list of results. Here is a summary, it tells how many pages there are. So everything that you see here is contained in this XML. And at some point we'll also have the results node, which contain a result for each entry in the list. And here you would see that we have the standard fields that come with Search Boost, but also we should find our custom fields. And let's see how we get this. Let's search for, yes, actually is this data node here. So under data, we'll have a list of custom fields, but not all results have all the fields. So this probably come from other data. We would need to use user ID, we should also have some entries that have the, like you see this one, has the avatar URL and looks okay. It has the cell, the country, the user ID. And we just need to access this data from the XSL template. And this is very, very easy to do. Just open main.xsl file. I use Sublime Text. You can use any editor that you like. And here, if you scroll down, you'll also already find an example of using custom data. Basically, this is an example of using the custom data. XSL value of this line. XSL value of and a select that gets the data from a field named data1. And in our case, what we need here is maybe float something to the left to show the image. And if you look here, you see that there's already an image tag. Maybe we can use this one. So this is a copy of the default template. I don't mind if I change it. Okay. This has different shortcuts, so I just delete manually. Okay, so I have an image. The attribute should be, and here the data name is called avatar URL, and here I will have to mind the case. Let me go back to confirm that I have it correctly. Yes, avatar URL. And other thing that I would want to do is maybe float this to the right, or maybe it would be a better idea to put this maybe in a div. And then also maybe add some margin. And then maybe I actually need more margin to the right, where the text will appear right to the image, and I don't need any margin to the left. Anyway, that's one. Here I can do one more trick, but let's first see that it actually works. Okay, so you see I have some images here. They're quite big. Next thing, I can make them maybe, I don't know, 60 pixels. You see? And maybe I should have float them to the left. Yeah, I don't know what was in my mind. Float them to the left. Yeah, so now you see I have a listing of members that also have a picture. It's starting to get interesting. And also on this image, maybe I should put a link, and also I should put maybe a default URL for the user that don't have a profile picture. And how would I do that? Well, it's again very simple. I would just add an if, so I can say if test equals, and I will test that this data actually exists, and you can do this in XSL, for example, like this. So I just compare it to an empty string. Only then it will display this image. And else, and if I want to do else, I will actually do an XSL choose with a when. So this is like a switch case if you're familiar with when, and then I can follow with an XSL otherwise. So this is basically the else. So here otherwise I can maybe put also a div that has the same width, 60 pixels, and say sorry, no image. And maybe actually here I could make it a disabled image, or I can use even a default profile image, but I don't want to waste too much time on this. I just want you to see the possibilities. So you see I have this sorry no image here. Maybe I should have put it float left. But again, I don't want to waste time on formatting and so on. Just the possibilities here. And next thing that I want to do, maybe after the name, I want to display the country and the cell number. Again, this is very, very simple. I just use this part to extract a single bit of data, and I will put it under the title. Let's find the title, which is this link, and then here you see is the title, and after the title we put a parenthesis and say from, and here we put the country, from, contact at, and here we put the cell number. You see some users don't have anything, so it will appear like this, and again we need to put ifs to handle these cases. But this user, for example, has a country and a phone number, so it will display like this. So you see, now we have all these possibilities. We can build it on multiple columns if we wanted, make it like a product search, and this is a whole different world of possibilities. Now imagine that you can build this and search by all the fields, and you wouldn't have to use this users module from DNN or sell this user module to your clients. This is not very friendly for end users compared to a free search module like this. So other things that you can do, you can maybe put a link on this image as well, and then you can continue with building more advanced search. So you don't want only a search box, maybe you also want to filter maybe new users, or filter by role, and you can build all of that using categories in Search Boost, and link them using the advanced search. We have an advanced search plugin for action form, so you can actually build it with action form, all the fields, filters, drop downs, and then wire it to a results page like this. And this will be the next steps. So, but we will not go into more details. There is a video on building advanced search, and there are other videos on building faceted search and so on. So I hope this got you a whole new world of possibilities. I bet you didn't know that you can do this with Search Boost, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you for your time.